Hey everyone, so this is my first post-chemo update. A month ago yesterday I had my very last chemo session, so I'm in, I'd say 2 weeks into recovery since the first 2 weeks were just getting over the last chemo side effects. It's been going well and not so well. In my last video I talked about how I just gotten a full-time job, and I started that very soon after. I'd more or less just finished those 2 weeks of just after chemo, so I'd gotten over the very acute side effects, and then I went into full-time work in a job that I hadn't done before. And there's a lot of things to learn about this job, and it's a naturally stressful job because there's lots of things you have to manage, and there's a lot of things have to be done in a timely manner and very quickly. So my employer was lovely. They're such lovely people, and they were so understanding with this whole thing. But after 6 days of full-time work, I had to resign. I had the option of going part-time, which would have been okay, but I think at the moment I'll probably try to see if I can do my PhD study later on, because that won't start until a month or so, and I have more time to recover, and it's something that I'm very familiar with. I'm very familiar with research, so hopefully it won't kind of be as overwhelming. So with the 6 days that I did full-time, I just felt myself hitting a lot of walls. I felt myself getting more headaches. My eyes were really strained. I wasn't recovering on the weekend or in the evenings enough to be able to do this full-time work and learn everything on the go the way that I had to. And I also felt myself getting really anxious about a lot of things. And because I felt myself hitting these walls, I was like, there's no point staying in this longer, even though I know that I could have. I was just getting too anxious about different things, and then I felt myself, hitting these side effects. And I guess for me, really, I had to just accept that it's going to take me a while to become, or hopefully to be how I was before, to be able to concentrate for as long as I did before, to have the ability for my body and mind to be able to do the work that I know that I want to do, and the amount that I want to do it at. Like, I have a very strong work ethic. I didn't want to just be there and taking lots of breaks, even though they said I could take plenty of breaks. I just would rather just, stop working, really focus on recovering on lots of different aspects, and work on different, dreams and things that I have, not only for my career, but for myself as well, as I hopefully wait to see what happens to my body. And I'm sure it will go back to more or less how it was before. But that's obviously something that I'm very anxious about, that it will take forever for me to get back to how I was before, especially with things like concentration and headaches. I didn't really have problems with either of those. Like, obviously I would have problems with concentration sometimes, but it wasn't the same way that I've been experiencing it now. And I know that it's the concentration problems that I have now is because of chemo brain, and so I wouldn't have kind of realized these things without pushing myself a lot, which I guess in itself is a good thing, to realize this now rather than later, and have to kind of go through the acceptance rather than denial of, I guess, the damage that chemo has done to my body, and that the chemo process doesn't just finish with the last chemo session. There's a lot of a process for not only your body but also your mind after chemo's done. So yeah, the last 2 weeks have been a bit interesting, and this week I'm going to go see a psych, even though I'm sure that the anxiety that I had before was very much just because of the situation of jumping into that kind of work so quickly and having to learn so much so fast, and really pushing myself in that kind of role. So even though I hope or think that maybe I wouldn't run into any more of this anxiety in that kind of way, I just want to make sure that I'm on top of it. I reduce any kind of suffering. I don't want to put myself through more pain or suffering than I have to, or that will come naturally. So just like I would go to the doctor if I felt like I was getting sick with something, I'm just going to go to the psych to make sure that I'm nipping, I guess, the anxiety in the butt properly before it becomes full-blown into anything, just in case it does keep popping up over the year or later on. Even though I'm sure anxiety to some extent is something that I'll have to deal with, but I definitely just don't want it to stop me from being able to do things that I want to do. From this week onwards, I'm just trying to download a lot of studies and journal articles to read up on my PhD topic, and I want to get into contact more with my supervisor to discuss more possibilities and slowly try to increase workload, and also give myself time to just have fun and not worry about jumping straight into something else full-time. I noticed that since I did jump into work straight after chemo, like, I didn't even have really a time to enjoy being able to see friends consistently and frequently, as opposed to within a very short window in between my chemo sessions. So I'm just trying to enjoy the social aspect of not being in chemo a lot more too, because yeah, I just jumped into work too quickly, and I know that now, but I don't think I would have learnt it any other way than the hard way, because it's just who I am. This week has been tough because I really realized that my body has taken damage deeper than I thought. I just kind of thought if I felt good from day to day, if I could concentrate, if I could do these little things day to day, then I was fine. But when you're really pushing yourself, you really realize how deep some of the chemo damage can be. And obviously for most people all that goes away anyway over time, but I just wanted it to be done within 2 weeks, and that's just not reasonable. I hope everyone is doing well. Let me know what's been happening with you all. For those of you who have finished chemo, how long did it take you to really feel like your old self? Did you jump into anything too fast like I did and then realize that you had done the wrong thing? Did you notice any kind of spikes in anxiety after chemo was done as you were trying to be your old self? That's been my 2 weeks. It's not how I thought it was going to turn out, but maybe it's for the best, and maybe it is best that I go and pursue more post-grad stuff before I go into the workforce full-time. But I'll see how I go with the next 2 weeks, or the next however so many weeks before I make another update video. Okay, take care of yourself. Bye.